Very good morning to you. Thank you so very much for staying with us here on Global Television. We're live in Abuja, Nigeria's capital. And this is how we, with so much of delight, welcome you to today's edition of Global Morning. I'm Uyi Agumofwebe. Jumai Rekia Manson has started her week. You know, she has a different calendar. Her week starts on Wednesday. Is that correct?
No, it doesn't. It starts on Monday. And we all know it starts on Monday. Very funny.
But that was my way of saying that they don't get to see on the program until Wednesday.
Okay, okay. No, be specific because people could read that, okay, Jumai starts work on Wednesday.
No, we didn't say what we said. Calendar is different.
Okay, what calendar is
they may think maybe you're using the Arabic calendar or something.
No, my my calendar starts on Monday. Good morning, Uyi.
How are you doing today? I'm good.
Well
I'm staying grateful.
Yes, I can see.
Yes, what more can I say?
Let's just stay grateful and be happy.
Mm-hmm.
And how rude can I be? Good morning to each and every one of you out there. It's a beautiful Wednesday morning. The weather is fantastic. I always say, well, sometimes it's really hot and it's not really nice, but all the same, we thank God. And it's great to have you join us on the program Global Morning. And yes, I am Jumai Rekia Manson, and it's great to be here with Uyi Agumofwebe. We're doing this side by side with you.
I'm excited myself. Well, that's how we begin the day with you here today, everyone. Of course, it's midweek already. Time flies. You know, incidentally, from nowhere, I was having this conversation with a bunch of amazing colleagues on Monday.
Okay.
I think it was just the twilight of work. So I said, this week has ended. It was a bit weird. How can you say the week has ended on a Monday? Right. But what I've noticed the last few months, this year in particular, is that once your Monday is ending, it's almost as if the working week is gradually ending. Because whether you know it or not, the next thing you know is we're also saying TGIF again.
Yes, we are.
I mean, I'm still trying to, I'm pinching myself, asking, how is it that it's already Wednesday? Because by Saturday, it was weekend, Sunday, you were already thinking about Monday, today is already Wednesday. It simply means that, in the voice of my mom, time waits for nobody.
Time waits for no one. Very correct. And it's true. Time really flies. I was telling someone also, and I was like, is today running really fast? And they were like, yes, it's even looking a bit slow today. So you cannot really comprehend of at all what it is. That is why God is great. I always say God is so great that sometimes could be this, like we might be on this program. I'm like, oh my goodness, it's already 9:30. Seriously. And I'm like, oh, we'll go up and go and eat.
How does the time fly so fast?
How does the time fly so fast? But all the same, I think it has to do with everything under climate change, because everything is evolving, everything is changing, and we just have to, like the white man will say, go with the flow. See, that's a rap sign. Go with the flow. Did you see my hands?
I think the next time you do this program,
with the flow.
It's going to be from somewhere in New York or Texas. Maybe by then you're wearing a lot of chains.
No chains.
But no tattoos.
No tattoos. No chains.
All right, so Juna and I are talking about time and how that factor in itself is so amazing. We really can't track it. All we can do is just make the most of it. Experts are now saying that you can't even manage time.
No, you can't.
You can only manage yourself, right?
To fit into the time.
Exactly. So the idea of saying Juma needs to manage your time, we is not managing his time very well, it's not even realistic. That's what we are now learning. There's a new science in that direction. So manage yourself, manage your schedule, manage your priorities, right?
And skill of preference.
Exactly. Leave the rest to time. Don't bother about time because you really don't have a handle on that.
No,
but then it turns out time is also changing many things as we know it. For example, we hear that at least 67% of people in Nigeria who have to cook their own meals have now resorted to charcoal. All right. I'm not going to be the one to tell you what the prices of cooking gas are saying across the country right now. Right. You know, so somebody buys for 1,008 and they're shouting, and then somebody says, "Oh, you don't even know what's happening. I bought for 2,000." Right. I remember when you moved from 700 to 900, people shouted 900 to 1,100. You know, so it's been climbing incrementally.
Yes, it has.
But something I still don't understand, because as you all know, I don't have a degree in economics, is the fact that the irony of how you tell me that we have the products in excess, scarcity is not a problem. It's not as if the product is scarce. It makes me ask the question of what are the factors now driving the spike?
Increase. Like your guess is as good as mine, and you just wonder, what does that have to do with anything? We're talking about fuel 1 minute, and the next thing you know, we're talking about gas, and the next minute, and as in, what is the relation? As in, and we have this in essence, we have it in surplus here in Nigeria. So why the skyrocketed price and all of that, fluctuating up here and there? That's why I said your guess is as good as mine, and it bothers a lot, and it beats my mind. Some will tell you, I've resorted to charcoal, as in charcoal now, and they've made modern charcoal base for individuals, so it would not cause pollution and the rest. So many individuals are just, delving towards that aspect. But is it right? We have these things in abundance. Why can't we just enjoy it? Like I said, go with the flow. But it's just unfortunate that this is where we are now. It just shows that a lot of things are changing when it comes to inflation is here with us now. I saw a group, I read the news this morning about a group saying, I've forgotten it. I'm trying to remember the name of the group. I hope I'll recall soon. I'm trying to talk about what this administration has been doing that no one is talking about. That's the thing. We need to understand and know so we can have a relief. So when there are things on the high side, we understand, okay, fine, there's something working somewhere that will benefit each and everyone. But once we do not know, it is a problem. It looks as if there's so much stagnancy and nothing is moving forward. So it's just unfortunate, like I said, but it is what it is. It is what it is.
Right. I know on a lighter note, there are people who say food, especially jollof rice, made with charcoal is more delicious.
Yes, it is.
It's tastier.
No, it is.
We understand. But I am also aware that people do not cook jollof rice every day.
No.
So the question is, as it stands today, this is 2026. Is it realistic, right? Quite frankly, to say you want to, is it sustainable to say you want to use charcoal to cook every other day?
No.
Joey doesn't look like she uses charcoal. Don't tell her I said that on live television.
Oh, okay.
Well, guilty as charged. But the point I'm making with all of this is that times have really evolved. It's not about pride or arrogance, as we say, carrying body, right?
No.
It's about the fact that some things are not just realistically visible anymore, right? People have to depend on at least stove, but for the most part, it's gas, right? No matter how small the cylinder may be. So we now have to ask ourselves, are we going to force households to go back to charcoal, or is it just a temporary measure to
go
be able
back to stove?
Right, to kerosene. I don't even know what kerosene smells like.
I don't even know.
Right.
That's
I don't know what it looks like.
It's just like
yes.
It's just like eating shawarma now, and they tell you have to go back to gari. Gari is good. People love Ijebu gari. I love Ijebu gari. My favorite.
Hot sun, granules.
Granules with the ice, sugar, and then you add all those. Gary, I'm trying to look for it. It's just like you are eating something that is so delicious, and then they tell you have to go back. It's so painful, but like we said, everyone has to be prudent at this point.
Right.
Because, we're discussing in management meeting yesterday, and a lot of people will tell you that even their take-home cannot sustain their family. Their take-home pay cannot. So as much as you can to cut down a lot of things, you have to. It doesn't matter whether you've not used it before or you haven't. You have to learn to. That is what it is at this point, and it's all about survival. You cannot starve because you cannot learn how to use the charcoal and all of that. It is what it is till when, hopefully, by God's grace, things get better.
Of course, we hope things get better, so we should keep hope alive, that's what it means. But in the meantime, please, if charcoal is what works for you, given your own financial reality,
please.
It may be very inconvenient for you, but you've got to do what you've got to do, all right? But beyond all of that, we must continue to stay upbeat, like Jumai says. Talking about which, what are you cooking with today? Is it charcoal, gas, or kerosene?
Let me just...
Oh, you want to eat out?
No, I don't want to eat out. Come on, calm down. Homemade food is best.
I totally agree with you.
And because of all of this, and since we already have gas, let's just use gas and just finish.
Even if it's the last one.
Let's just quickly go over to the segment of Taste and Texture. And no, I will not be telling you what we have in stock for you. You just have to sit back, relax, and see what this segment holds on Taste and Texture. Stay tuned.
Hello everyone and welcome to Taste and Texture. This is Saadatu Garba, your creative chef. In today's episode of the program, we'll be making yam and scrambled eggs. Yam and egg is the ultimate breakfast consumed in Nigerian homes. The delicious richness of yam pairs nicely with the egg and other ingredients that you'd love to make this over and over again. Ingredients: yam, 4 eggs, chopped onions, chopped fresh tomatoes, chopped peppers, seasoning cubes, salt, vegetable oil, and water. To prepare, peel the yam and cut into desired sizes. Add your peeled yam into a pot. Add salt and water and cover to boil. For the scrambled eggs, dice your onions, tomatoes, and peppers into desired sizes and add into a bowl. Break 4 eggs into a different bowl and add salt. Add some oil in a pan and heat up. Fry the onions for a bit and add pepper and tomato mix. Fry the mixture for 3 to 5 minutes while stirring gently. Add some seasoning cubes for taste and stir again. Add your eggs to the fried mixture and allow to fry for 3 to 5 minutes while stirring gently. Allow the oil to evaporate and turn down the heat. There you have it, your yam and scrambled eggs is ready. That's a wrap on today's episode of Taste and Texture. I hope you enjoyed these culinary demonstrations and trust you will try this recipe at home. Be sure to join me again for yet another taste-friendly delicacy. I am Saadatu Garba, your creative chef, saying thank you for watching.
All right, you're welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that delicious segment on taste and texture. It has to do with yam and delicious eggs. That's not scrambled eggs, by the way. There's a difference between scrambled eggs and the normal fried eggs and what we have. I know all of them. Don't worry.
Of course.
I'm here to guide you, hold your hands, and put you through.
By their foods, you shall know them.
Yes.
Now you have one in front of you, but then the idea is just for you to also have something innovative to play with when you need to make breakfast.
True.
On any day, it mustn't be on a Wednesday. We'll say a big thank you to the team that puts this together for us week in and week out. There's so much to talk about on the program today. We'll look at politics, we'll look at issues around insecurity as well.
Yes.
But insecurity is not just so much about deploying military, boots on the ground and so on and so forth. In the case of Nigeria, there's several angles to it. If you saw a video from Ibadan, I think, yes, in your states this week, you realize that we're dealing with something very monstrous.
Yes,
right?
we are.
That's the best word I can find right now, because that house was demolished by the authorities on account of the fact that that's where the sister of immediate past Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelabu, and those other persons, including her twin, kidnapped alongside her, were held hostage the entire time. And that's what most states do. If we realize that you kidnap somebody, you hid them somewhere, that entire structure goes down.
Yes,
and it happens at the speed of light. That's what happened there. But beyond all of that, we also see what you call fake news, a combination of disinformation and misinformation. In this case, I think this was disinformation because there was a deliberate attempt by some group or maybe groups to misinform, to as it were, deceive the public. The news we read the last few days, Jeremiah, was that those who have kidnapped pupils and teachers in Oyo State, Rire local government, were demanding for hillocks, they were demanding for cattle. 1 billion, they were also demanding for cattle, but the head teacher, who is amongst the abductees, sadly, came out, saw the video, or Gochuku also played it on air here yesterday, saying that, look, these people are not demanding for cattle, they're not asking for hillocks, trucks, they're not asking for 1 billion. They're saying, release our people in your captivity. We're not trying to endorse their demand. We're saying that let's take it for what it is. Let's call it what it is, because there are people who have now politicized these developments. So she says this is what they're asking for, and she says they have also not forced us into any kind of religious practices. They have not compelled us to adopt any kind of faith. Yes, they're not asking for introduction or establishment of Sharia law. They're just saying you have our people in your custody. Release them to us, and then we'll release these people. So that's where the conversation is. So which means that much as we understand that for obvious reasons, emotions we flare around issues like this because of the humanitarian angle to it, we also need to be careful so we don't make a bad situation worse.
Yes, it's very important. And when I saw that video, my heart just broke. And I said, at the detriment of people's lives, children, you will want to change the narrative and publish out fake news, what is not there. And this sort of trigger can infuriate these individuals, and they can just wipe out the people. For goodness sake, they beheaded one of their abductees. So it means that they don't care, anything can happen. So for you to politicize this issue when you know that the fragile lives involved, those children, it's just unfortunate. It shows how individuals are becoming inhumane. They do not have empathy or understand the pains that the families of these individuals are going through. You don't want to imagine, look at your 3-year-old or your 2-year-old, and you imagine in the hands of another that you do not know.
Not a relative.
Not even a relative. I mean,
not a nanny.
Not even a nanny. A total stranger who is violent, who has no empathy whatsoever.
Wanted by the state.
Wanted by the state. Who doesn't care when he takes a life. So you can imagine, and individuals just come out to change the narrative and make it, come on. I think as Nigerians we can do better. What happened to our conscience? I looked at that woman and I was like, goodness gracious. And that was what we all believed, that they wanted 1 billion naira, they wanted motorcycles, they wanted cattle, they wanted their members in captivity that are held, and in the exchange of the lives of the pupils. And but thank God she came out and she said it so that Nigerians will understand what we are dealing with, that it's not everyone that smiles and says they are for us that are really for us as Nigerians and as a country. So we have to tread softly and be careful. And that is why we shouldn't be too quick to react. When two political parties are having issues, don't be too quick to take sides. Be on the fence and listen first, because they actually know what they're doing. It's just unfortunate, really. It really broke my heart. I'm trying so hard to comprehend and understand why individuals will change narrative and swift it into fake news. And bad news travel faster than good news. And it's just unfortunate that this is where we are, at the detriment of people's lives. Are you kidding me? These terrorists beheaded someone. Is it in front of the pupils? Your guess is as good as mine. But it's just very tragic to actually watch that video and imagine in my mind what people are capable of just to politicize politics or election. It's just unfortunate. It's really very sad.
It is sad, and we hope that the government itself will have to prove that it's on top of the situation, as it says, because we've heard the president come out to say, look, we cannot surrender our country, we cannot surrender our sovereignty to terrorists, to bandits or criminal cells of any kind, and that much is understandable. We've seen the governors do the same. In this particular case, we have Governor Seyi Makinde, who has also time and again reassured that, look, we're dealing with this, distant time, these people will be released unharmed, unhurt, unconditionally. That much, again, is appreciated. But I don't know, I'm not so sure how much of that the families of these persons are buying, because it's easy for me to close from work today and go to my house and sleep, wake up tomorrow, continue the cycle, working. But is it the same reality for the spouses of these people, for the parents of those people, for everyone who cares about these people, for everyone who loves them? So government must realize that this is a litmus test that requires it to do more than just campaigning for 2027. And we do hope that we don't get to find worse situations. Because while we're busy talking about Oyo State, a lot is happening in Borno.
Katsina.
A lot is happening in Katsina, in Zamfara. Who is attending to those? Government appears to, I'm tired of using the term overwhelmed. It appears government is now stretched and spread thin. It's pretty much like splitting a meal that's meant for one person amongst 6 persons. You know what that means?
Yes,
a meal that one person should eat, you have 6 persons sharing that meal. I mean, you can only imagine what ration each person will get. It appears that's where government is. And the question mark over whether or not government is genuinely, sincerely, altruistically committed to the process of winning the war against banditry. Because, I mean, for whatever it's worth, yes, it's very critically important that we ensure the safety and the return of those people in captivity across the country.
Yes.
But the question is, isn't that just a one-off action? Does it end banditry? Does it end insurgency? There's some unconfirmed intel report that somewhere in the central, north central of the country, that's ISWAP, which is a very dangerous terror cell across the board.
Tell me.
Is establishing its hub, operating from there.
Yes.
That alone is something that should burn the host governor of that state. Should bother the federal government, should bother both the defense and military authorities. But as always, the goal here is not to leave you feeling downcast. All right.
You know what? Before we go to the next segment, I just want to add to what you have just said. You know, when you hear intel information, what is the government actually doing with that information?
What value is it to government?
What value is it to government? Is it verifiable? Are they sure? Because for this fake news to go out so fast and
people bought it.
I bought it wholesale, and I was like, what? So these individuals are all about the money. It's all about what they can get, what they can grab. But that was not the narrative. So it's very important that government needs to act. They are the ones in the forefront here, forefront. So when you hear information like this, before it goes out to the public, the duty of government to come and douse those situations. So we will
with facts.
With facts, very important. So what is the intel when it comes to these when individuals that bring out these information? What are they actually doing?
Right.
What is the government actually doing? That's food for thought. And let's just go to the next segment.
Right.
Let's be inspired. Don't you think?
Of course, I totally agree with you.
Let's be inspired.
If it's food for thought, we have to eat it. Ramsey Enoch Agbo is here to elevate our spirits this morning on Heart to Heart Inspirational.
Hello and welcome to another moment of Heart to Heart Inspirational. Let's talk heart to heart a little bit, because a lot of people have not been able to bounce back after the last time they failed. My name is Ramsey Enoch Agbo. Welcome to Heart Inspirationals. Failure is a feedback and not a funeral. I want to say that again, because of people who failed. Some people fell and they remain on the ground. They never got up again because of what they feel people around them are going to say. But then failure is a feedback. And that's why some people will tell you all the time that whatever happens, all right, there is a lecture from every lesson. Whatever happens to you in life, there is something that you are meant to learn from it, either positively or negative thing that you need to take cognizance of and be watchful as you move on the journey of life. So I just want to tell you today that failure is a feedback and not a funeral. What kind of feedback did you get from that last failure? Have you even tried anything at all? Have you experienced failure before? If you've not experienced failure before, it means you need to try harder. Because on this journey of destiny, people who are successful today are people who have failed a number of times and they got up on their feet, learned from their mistake, and their mistake became a stepping stone for them. And of course, they are where they are today. Why? Because they never allow that failure to become a funeral to their dream. What am I emphasizing? As a matter of fact, let's normalize something today, all right? Let's normalize something today. A failure, you've heard about it all the time. Okay, this person is a failure, that person is a failure. People assess their counterparts, their neighbors, their brothers, their colleagues differently with different perspectives. Some persons already have been tagged as failure, and that has been affecting a lot of people. But then, have you accepted that you are a failure? That somebody told you are a failure does not make you a failure until you accept that you are a failure. All right, not because it feels good, but because it is necessary. Sometimes, it's risk. It's risk. If you have taken a risk before, and of course, it didn't go well the way you think it was going to go, and you failed, it doesn't mean that is a funeral. It doesn't mean you shouldn't try it again. I was speaking with someone a few days ago, and we're talking about a particular business, and the young man told me, now I am successful. But then, during my wilderness experience, when I was in the workshop, nobody knew anything about me. When I was failing over and over and over again, I lost money several times. I had to stay indoors and think of the next thing to do. He failed severally until he said, no, I am not going to allow allow this failure become a funeral. My dream is not going to be cut short by this failure. And he stood on his ground. Consistency. I must always emphasize consistency anytime I come up to speak to anyone on Heart to Heart, because it is very important. If you want to succeed in life, then consistency and discipline is very important. But the bottom line is this: nobody ever succeeds without first stumbling. Yes, you stumble, then you stand again. Even every little child, before a child starts walking, you stand them up, you see them, they walk a little bit, they fall, they walk a little bit, they fall, until their leg gets stable on the ground. All right, and you see them walking firmly. Then before you know it, they start running. The same thing is applicable to life. So failure, as a matter of fact, is not proof that you can't. All right, it's not a proof that you can't do it. It's proof that you tried. It's a proof that you tried. When you fail, it means you tried and you failed. It doesn't mean that's the end. It reveals what doesn't work and refine what eventually would work later. That's what failure does. Anytime you fail, you know that, yes, this one does not work. Let me try the other one. It gives you a focus. It makes you know that, yes, if I go this way, I'm going to fail again. So I need to do something else. It's only a fool that do the same thing the same way and expect a different result. If you are doing one thing the same way all the time, you get the same result. You need to apply technicality, strategy, discipline, excellence every time. Whatever you do, let that touch of excellence be in your head. All right? So that when you fail in one thing, you try doing it the other way. But then don't allow that first, second, third, fourth failure be your funeral. Let your dream and your vision and your talent not be buried because you failed. Because that failure is trying to refine you. It's trying to build something in you. What do you have to do? I want you to know that failure, what it does is that it reveals what doesn't work and refines what eventually will work. But you need to have this mentality. Every setback is information. If you are willing to learn, yes, that's what it means. Every setback that you've had in the past is an information. Because there is something you need to learn from every setback, from every failure. Everyone throwing stones at you right now is because they know you are going somewhere. Let me tell you the truth. We have a lot of friendly enemies these days. Some people are smiling with you, but then they are not interested in your success. What they say behind you, if you hear it, hey, but then that shouldn't deter you. That shouldn't deter you because you have a destination. So every setback is information if you are willing to learn, because most people don't fail because they are incapable. That you failed, it's not because you are incapable, but because you are going somewhere, because you are dogged, because you are rugged, because you are determined, because you are focused, because you have a dream, you have a vision, something you are pursuing and something you want to get. You have a target. So when people like that fail, they fail because they don't stop. But if you stop anytime soon, it means that failure has gotten to you. Let me give you an instance, an illustration. For instance, a GPS recalculates when you miss a turn. It doesn't shut down. All right? Failure, in other words, simply means it's time to adjust. Anytime you fail, the message is, no, I need to adjust. This principle, this procedure, this formula is not working. I need to adjust. There is something I need to do so that I don't fail again. That's what it means. Anytime you fail, there is a message. It is telling you it is time to adjust the procedure. It is time to re-strategize. That's what it means. All right, so you don't need to abandon your journey because you failed. There is a practical mindset shift that you need to have, and this is it. Number one, stop attaching shame to failure. Yes, stop attaching shame to failure. Some people, when they fail, they feel shy. Oh no, I'm not going to get on that stage again. They will laugh at me. No, I'm not going to do that business again. People will laugh at me. People will mock me. The same people will celebrate and want to identify with you if you are a success. So there should be a mindset and a mind shift for you. Extra lessons instead of self-criticism. Stop criticizing yourself because you failed. Stop criticizing yourself. Stop comparing yourself to other people with other people because you failed. That you failed. Failure is not a funeral. Stop burying yourself in shame and criticism. Try again. Make it better. Make it wiser. Make it stronger. That's what it means. All right. Failure is tuition paid for future success. That is a quote that I'm bringing to you now. Failure, I said, is what? Is tuition paid for future success. But if you don't pay, if you go to school now, all right, 100 level, you need to pay a tuition in 100 level. You get to 200, you pay another tuition before you can get to 300 level. In every of this level, there are tuitions to pay. If you want to change levels in life, don't be scared of failure. If you are scared of failure, you will never try anything good. So what do you have to do? Keep pushing. Don't bury your dream because of one mistake that you made. I'll keep saying this. Learn, rise, and move forward. Don't worry about what people are saying. Don't worry about the situation around you. Don't think, oh, I have failed, I don't need to try it again. Keep trying. Change the strategy. Become wiser. Failure make you wiser. Because you walk through this way and you fail, you apply this strategy, this technique, this principle, this formula, and you failed. You will now need to re-strategize. Use another formula. All right? Until you get to your success. Until you get to what you want to achieve in life. All right? So you need to know that anytime you fail, it's a signal that you need to turn. You need to do something again. You need to re-strategize. You need to improvise. Come up with something new. As a matter of fact, failure is not the best option for you. So what you have to do? Try as much as possible, right, to be sincere in everything that you do. Because if you want to please people, it will be disastrous. You don't need to please anyone, all right? You don't need to please anyone. It is when you're thinking about pleasing people that when you stumble, you say, oh, I've disappointed this person. I've disappointed even people who really love you, who want you to be successful. By the time you fail, instead of them condemning you, they will come and encourage you to do better. And that's the reason you need mentors. That's the reason you need people to talk to per time. All right? You need to talk to people. See, if you are embarking on a project, I emphasize mentorship all the time. I was speaking with a friend a few days ago and I told the person, if I want to do this thing you're doing now, it is going to be express for me. It's going to be easier. I may have hitches. There might be some times where you have losses or maybe failure at some point, but then you have people to ask questions. I have someone to ask questions. Hey, I got hooked here. What do I do? Even the disaster is not going to be as disastrous as it would have been if you never have anyone to guide you on this journey of destiny. You really need people, okay? Because as your association determine your acceleration in life, okay? And your friends, you need to be careful with the kind of friends you have. If you have a bad friend, it is disaster. If you have a good friend, it means you have a shoulder to lean on, a shoulder to stand on and be tall so that you can get to that success that you are running after, that you are pursuing. Yes, congratulations, everyone. You are a success going somewhere to happen. Don't allow anything stop you on the way. Not failure, not criticism. Don't bury yourself because you failed. Failure is not funeral. Bye-bye for now and have a beautiful day.
All right, you're welcome back and hope you enjoyed that heart-to-heart inspirational with Ramsey Enoch Agbo. At about this time is a newspaper review segment, and we're going to start with the first paper of the day. It's the Punch newspaper. And above the nameplate it says, NAS will pass state police bill this week. And that's from Senate leader, and that's on page 3. And the star story on the Punch newspaper reads, post-primary chaos worsens as INEC fixes candidate submission deadline. And that read is on page 2. And above that, it says Nigerians' foreign debts to hit $72.6 billion after 2027 polls. And that's from the IMF. Elumelu appointed chairman of Seplet Energy, and that's on page 9. Congratulations. And basically, those are all the major headlines on the Punch newspaper. Go out and get yourself a copy and be well informed on the issues making round to avoid fake news. Next, we have the Daily Trust.
All right, thank you so very much, Jumai. Well, on the Daily Trust newspaper here, we have the big one, just one really, says 6-year single term push raises elongation fears. That's on pages 3 and 4. The question is, who is pushing that? We know there had been some interests in the days of former President Goodluck Jonathan trying to fly that kite to say Nigeria should consider very seriously a single term of 6 years. So when Jumai becomes president or governor, she knows that she's going to be in office for 1 term, then she will do 6 years, after which there's no, as it were, re-election. She may go seek re-election or election into other offices, but there won't be any such thing as re-election for especially governors and, of course, president. But let's see how this pans out, because ultimately there has to be an act of parliament for this to become law and the practice going forward. Again, could it be an attempt to create confusion in light of the 2027 general election? We'll continue to track all of those stories. Incidentally, is all we have on the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper this morning. Let's go take a look at headlines from this day.
All right, this day newspaper. It says here, Saplet Energy appoints Elumelu chairman for Cone CEO to steer next growth phase. And that read you will find on page 8. Now, below that, it says Tinubu puts corrupt public officials on notices, says no hiding place for them. And that's on page 5. And the star story on this day says, IMF questions transparency of FG's $5 billion swap deal with UAE. And the writer says, advises government to focus on Eurobonds, others to finance deficit. And that's on page 6. And basically, those are all the major stories on this day newspaper. Go out and get yourself a copy and be well informed on the issues making round. Next, we have the Vanguard.
Let's start with the headline just about the name masks. IMF, that's on the Vanguard newspaper now. It says IMF cancels FG against $5 billion UAE loan, seeks higher taxes. Incidentally, that's the International Monetary Fund cancelling the federal government against $5 billion UAE loan, seeks higher taxes. All of those details, which I guess have so much of insights, can be read up on page 11 of today's issue of the Vanguard newspaper. Now adjacent, the nameplate. After rescue of 416 captives in Borno, 11 more kidnapped women regain freedom. We should be excited about all this ordinarily, but then these are no ordinary times, sadly, given that we still have people in captivity across the country. But we need to, for the worth of it, give some kudos to military men, gallant men and women in uniform for the sacrifices they make practically on a daily basis, literally putting their own lives on the line just to ensure the rest of us can sleep with at least one eye closed rather than have both of them open the entire night. All right, page 6 is where you have those details. And then the star headline says, Nigeria moving in right direction. That is coming from the federal government with 3 riders accompanying that headline. Unveils Tinubu's scorecard, defense reforms, highlights economic gains, 1 million students, loan beneficiaries, tax reforms, anti-graft successes. Says it's prepared to be judged by evidence. On page 5 is where you have that read. I think evidence is better. It's scientific. It's more persuasive as well. Lastly, Reps summons service chiefs, finance minister over security spending. We understand the National Security Advisor is also summoned in this category. That's on page 8. Okay, those are for the Vanguard newspaper this morning. Please be sure to take responsibility, read up details, and that way you're guaranteed to avoid fake news. And next port of call is the Nigerian Tribune.
All right, now the Nigerian Tribune, not much headlines there. And above the nameplate on page 2, it says here, under my watch, 1,859 families have accessed 128 billion naira for housing. And that's from our dear President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And below that, it says Tony Elumelu appointed Satellite Energy Chairman. That's on page 6. If you're wondering what that is all about, you have to flip over to page 7 and be well abreast. And on page 4, it says INEC fully recognizes Wike-backed PDP NWC. And that's on page 14. And basically, those are all the major headlines on the Nigerian Tribune. Go out and get yourself a copy and be well informed with the issues making rounds. Next we have here is The Guardian.
Let's start with the one at the top of the right left corner, that is, with a picture of INEC chairman. Court rulings threaten 2027 election timetable. INEC warns. Yes, things are becoming not just complicated, but jam-packed even for INEC. So it is like rain now. They say it rains on all. It's raining on INEC, it's raining on political parties and their actors, and it's also raining on Nigerians. So let's enjoy the rain. On page 6 of the Guardian newspaper, IMF backs Nigeria's reform progress, warns poverty, food insecurity may worsen. On page 16, so the question is, if you have this sort of report or advice from no less a body than the IMF, what will the federal government, especially from the standpoint of the Ministry of Finance and financial coordination, do with this sort of information, where poverty and food insecurity are said to be factors that may worsen Nigeria's economic plight. Senate to consider single term for president governors after 2027 polls. Is that a matter of necessity? In what ways does it serve the interests of Nigerians? How does it strengthen democratic practices and institutions? Find out on page 3. Leading us to the star headline this morning on the front page of the Guardian newspaper. The kicker here reads, from stove to smoke, households rotation swap to charcoal as cooking gas records 67% spike. That's a whole lot. If you were buying something for 1,000 naira chuma and then show up the next day, the vendor in the corner shop says, well, it has, the price has gone up by 67%. You should be bothered.
Yes, of course. It's
even if you have a deep pocket.
Even if you have a deep pocket,
right.
You should be bothered by that. Not just because you can actually throw a blind eye and afford it, others who cannot. And remember the liability that comes along with it. So it's not all about, I can afford it, I'm good. The people behind you who you have to reach out. Exactly, who you have to reach out to. It tells a lot, and it's cause for worry.
Well, let's worry together, everyone. But that worry will start from page 6 of the Guardian newspaper. If you do pick up a copy of it. Incidentally, those are all we have from the Guardian this morning. Is your call to read up these details as you move into this very promising day. The next would be the Daily Sun.
All right, now the Daily Sun newspaper, above the nameplate, close to the nameplate, it says here, on page 6, FG admits challenges but insists Tinubu's reforms are working. List achievements, and that's on page 6. If you're wondering what the achievements are of this particular administration, you have to go grab yourself a copy of the Daily Sun and flip over to page 6 and be well abreast with those achievements of this administration. And on page 15, it says Tinubu has plunged Nigeria into 200 trillion naira debt. And that's from Peter Obi. And on page 6 says Labour demands immediate renegotiation of minimum wage. And the Star story on the Daily Sun says IGP deploys DIGs, others to rescue Oyo pupils, teachers unhurt. And the writer there says orders clampdown of unregistered concealed vehicle number plates. And basically, those are all the major headlines on the Daily Sun. You have to go grab yourself a copy and be well informed to avoid fake news. Next, we have the business day.
Let's follow the money, as they say, with the Star headline, right?
I like that. Follow the money.
We can't say that enough. It reads how a $100 billion funding gap is forcing telecom rivals to become partners. Of course, you know how the saying goes, if you can't beat them, you join them, right? Of course, there's nothing wrong with that in business. You can be bought over, you can partner, you can do what they call M&A, merger and acquisition. All of those happen in tech, in finance, and everywhere else. So let's just strengthen the sector. I think that's what matters going forward. So let's make it competitive in a way that is healthy.
Exactly.
And then let it deliver value for subscribers. Very important.
And of course, not just value for subscribers, value for money.
Of course, yeah. All right, so that's where we are with the telecom sector. $100 billion is a whole lot of money. But let's turn to something else. It says here, which again is replicated across dailies today. Says Seplat taps Okon as CEO, positions Elumelu to lead next growth phase. We understand Senator Udoma SN is now stepping down starting from January of next year, and Mr. Tony Elumelu will take over to lead the board of Seplat. Seplat is indigenous and has done a lot in that sector, changing the narrative, bringing innovation. We do hope this new team of leaders will not only sustain but scale the growth already recorded so far. Nigeria steps up Ebola defense with $10 billion fund to intensify screening of passengers at airports. A task force to be chaired by Femi Gbajabiamila, Chief of Staff to the President. We hope we do not end up with the same stories and controversies and shamelessness that came with COVID-19. As of today, no single Ebola case has been reported on our soil, which is a good thing, which is a blessing, which is something we should be grateful and proud of. However, we should now have a situation where anti-graft agencies will have to run after officials of the Ministry of Health, NCDC, and other ancillary agencies of government. 10 billion naira in Nigeria is a whole lot of money, and the citizens must find value in that regard. IMF warns Nigeria against reliance on hot money as foreign inflows surge. This is particularly concerning because elections are around the corner. Hot money will fly like several kites. There's a rider to that headline. Fund warns against plan to borrow $5 billion from Abu Dhabi. Why are they warning? Is it because it puts us at an economic disadvantage, or they are afraid of someone else taking their position in terms of their relationship with Nigeria? I'm just curious. But in that curiosity, I'll encourage you to read up details of that story from today's edition of the Business Day newspaper. All right, those are all the headlines from there. Let's now turn to the Nation newspaper.
All right, now the Nation newspaper on page 2 above the nameplate, it says Shatima, Sanwo-Olu, Lagos best for investment. And like I mentioned before, that's on page 2. And on page 8, it says Inside House, where Adelabu's sister and nephews were held hostage. And if you're curious and want to know how that looks like, you have to get yourself a copy of the Nation newspaper, flip forward to page 8 and be well informed. And on page 2 it says soldier killed villagers abducted in Ogun community. That's on page 2. And on page 45 it says abductors of Oyo pupils, we want negotiation on our leaders' release. And the Star story on the Nation, which is on page 3, says Nigeria's moves South African retaliation. And basically those are all the major stories on the Nation newspaper. Please go out and get yourself a copy and be well informed with the issues making rounds. Next is the Daily Times.
All right. Well, the first one on the Daily Times this morning here, the big one, as I'd like to call it, it has a kicker, 2027. Falana raises red flag, lists insecurity, attacks on free speech, hunger as threats to democracy. With one writer telling us, says it may undermine credibility of general elections. Now, if we scale it up a little, there are two headlines. Again, top right, it says, federal government defense reforms as IMF forecast 4% growth despite poverty concerns. Ebola, Tinubu approves 10 billion naira for emergency preparedness, establishes task force, which we told you a while ago is structured to be chaired by no less a person than Chief of Staff to the President, Femi Gbajabiamila. Senate queries Southeast Development Commission's MD over 16 billion naira budget. Of course, it's simple. You're inviting for budget defense. All right, it's a straightforward thing. Lastly, xenophobia. First batch of stranded Nigerians in South Africa to land Thursday. That's some update from the federal government, which means by tomorrow they should be landing. That's the first batch. So apparently it's broken into batches. Those are the headlines, all of the headlines from the Daily Times this morning. Let's look at our penultimate paper, which is the Leadership newspaper.
All right, now the Leadership newspaper, above the nameplate, it says here on page 7 how bandit abducted 39 Zamfara elders during peace meeting. Very unfortunate incident there. You go out there to peace talk, and then the next thing you know, you're in the hands of abductors.
Yeah.
It's very unfortunate and very scary.
It is.
And on page 12, it says police arrest 345 suspects, recover 270 weapons in Kano. And on page 6, it says Oyedele FG has paid over 700 billion naira verified contractor debts. And basically, those are all the headlines on the Leadership newspaper. Go out and get yourself a copy and be well abreast. Next is the Nigerian News Direct.
And it turns out the Nigerian News Direct is our last paper for you this morning. Top right corner of it says driver flees Lekki Ekpe Expressway crash after hitting pedestrian on page 7. Yes, sad story there. Hit and run, as they call it. Iyabo Obasanjo quits APC, cites disrespect by party leadership. Do we have a respectful political party in Nigeria? I'm just curious. Well, she has quit the ruling APC. She says it's because of disrespect by the leadership of the party. I'm sure it's a word against theirs now. Read up details from the Nigerian News Direct today. The big one says relief as federal government approves payment of debts owed 1,240 contractors. Did I hear you say finally? It's been a long time coming.
Been a long time coming.
Right. They've had to protest more than once.
They have.
They've held meetings with immediate past Minister of Finance.
Yes.
That meeting was also the likes of Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Right Honorable Benjamin Kadu. So we're saying this to say that there's a history to it. But we do hope that this does not end on the front pages of newspapers.
Hopefully, fingers crossed.
I tried of crossing my fingers. Well, let's look at some at the bottom, bottom left this time. It says APC unveils Shonayon James as Hamza's running mate for 2027 Lagos Gobar election. The APC leadership says this lady will be the running mate to the current Deputy Governor, Dr. Hamzat, given that the party is very keen and big on youth inclusion. She is considered a youth, considered a youth, and for the APC, that is strategic and is also of public interest to do. Okay, Tinubu swears in Tegbe, Nika and Loyae as new ministers. We saw that yesterday. Global TV also brought you that piece of story in the course of our news broadcast. We wish both of them the best in their new roles, serving their fatherland. We were starved, molested by Boko Haram, rescued Ngoshe captives, recounts ordeal. Okay, first of all, let's just let you know that these are all the headlines from the Nigerian News Direct today. But you see, Juma, when you hear stories like this, you're not asking yourself, beyond rescue, beyond freeing these captives, what do we do in terms of psychosocial support for them because they are traumatized, no doubt about that.
Gosh, criminal. In fact, these individuals, it's very unfortunate. A lot needs to be done outside rescue missions. The psychology orientation again, because it's a tragedy. Waking up in the morning, that fright will definitely be there, even when you are home safe. It's just unfortunate that we have a lot to do when it comes to reorientation. Bringing back the person into society, making them understand that you're now safe. Because for a long time, I think, God forbid, we will not understand what it means to be in their shoes, but for a long time, it's going to be like a playback in their heads over and over again, over and over. It takes a toll on these individuals. So we have a lot to do as outside rescue missions. We have a lot to do in their lives when it comes to reorientation and, of course, their psychology, or will I say their mental health, needs to be put in check and put in balance.
Brilliantly put together. Well, we hope we can also do our bit as citizens beyond what government and public authorities are mandated to do. Those are all the headlines from all the papers we have for you today. Please do remember that you have a responsibility to yourself to read up details, and that way you understand exactly what the news is saying and where it is all heading. Remember as well that Global Television, as a broadcast media entity, all the team here on Global Morning does not in any way contribute to these papers. All we do for you is bring you the headlines exactly as published by their respective publishers. We'll take a quick break. When we return, Ogochukwu will be doing more than gossip on her show. Wake up with Global Morning, your daily guide to what's happening and making the rounds.
We delve into headlines, newspaper reviews, spot-on analysis, policies, current events, real talk, real issues that affect us all.
From the latest trends to the debates, every topic, every angle, Global Morning is where it all starts.
Global Morning,
For the latest issues,
always on point.
watch Global Morning Monday to Friday at 7 a.m., Saturday and Sunday at 8 a.m. on Global Television.
At Wichtech Cables, we don't just make cables, we deliver excellence. Our products are built with advanced technology, trusted for their unmatched quality and durability. With a wide range of cables, swift delivery, and continuous innovation, we stay ahead of the market demand. We are proudly Nigerian, fully indigenous, yet world-class. Backed by a professional team, strong technical support, and a deep commitment to customer satisfaction. Wichtech Cables is more than a brand, it's a promise. Wichtech Cables, quality cables better than the best.
At Erojim Shoe Factory, excellence starts from the ground up. Located at number 1 Pound Road behind Nigeria Correctional Service, Aba, Abia State. We produce 1,500 high-quality shoes every single day. Paramilitary shoes, safety boots, desert boots, ankle shoes, back to school footwear, all crafted with state-of-the-art equipment and built for strength, comfort, and durability. For reliable footwear that stands the test of time, choose Aerogym shoes for better product, strong steps, smart style. For inquiries, call 091-264-53399 or 070-3009-3944 or 080-6573-8374 or call 081-3167-3668. Email info@aerogym.com. Website www.aerogymdesign.com. Aerogym. Walk with confidence. Walk with pride.
Social media speaks. We listen and we bring you the extra. It's your one-stop shop for trends, tweets, and the tea everyone's sipping on. Join the conversation, share your thoughts, and get that extra dose of what's shaking the internet.
And on the issues making wave on social media to your doorstep.
Social Buzz Extra, where the trend meets the talk. Only on Global TV.
Good morning, Nigerians and viewers around the world. It's time for us to look at what's buzzing on social media. Today we're looking at a man who received 100,000 naira in TikTok giveaway, alleges bandits demand 100 million naira in return. A man reportedly received 100,000 naira from suspected bandits during a TikTok live giveaway, has raised the alarm after allegedly being contacted by the same group in order to pay 100 million naira. According to his account, he submitted his bank details during a live session where cash gifts were being distributed and later received an alert confirming the 100,000 naira payment. However, the situation reportedly took a frightening turn when he allegedly received a message from the individual behind the giveaway demanding that he repay them with 100 million naira. Fearing for his safety, the man has appealed to Nigerians and security agencies for assistance, saying he does not know how to handle the threats. The incident has sparked reactions online, with many questioning the motives behind the giveaway and expressing concern over the man's security. Let's discuss our thought, but before then, let's take a look at that video.
So lóòótọ́ àwọn bandits èmi náà mo come across orí FIP mi wọ́n wà lórí life ní àná yẹn jẹ́ on the 6th àti wà lọ́nà sẹ́ńbà yìí. So wọ́n ń ṣe live wọ́n lè ní kó yé wa pé àwọn máa fún ẹni tó bá ti follow àwọn máa fún ní owó. So èmi náà dẹ̀ follow wọn wà láàrin àwọn tí ó follow àwọn bandits mi. Wípé àwọn àwọn òbí ya pẹ́ nìyẹn kan so láti cash fund back mo follow máa yẹn ọmọ kékeré náà ti ẹ̀ ní young boy so mo ìgbówó yẹn tán báyìí ní email wọlé ẹjọ́ ọmọ Nàìjíríà ẹjọ́ ẹ ṣàánú wa o ẹ ṣàánú mi o $100 million náà ní kí n mú wá o $100 million náà ní kí n mú wá báyìí o ẹjọ́ ẹ ṣàánú mi o èmi náà gbowó mo wà ní life lánàá yẹn o ẹjọ́ ẹ ṣàánú mi o $100,000 náà fún mi o but mo ti gbówó yẹn báyìí direct báyìí ni mo rí email direct báyìí.
All right, so we've seen that video, although he was expressing himself in Yoruba and adding a bit of English, but basically what he was saying is, Nigerians, please help me because I don't know what to do at this time. They are threatening my life and asking for 100 million naira. And at this point, I'm asking how I don't even know. Like, we are just too free. We're not concerned, because if you are a concerned Nigerian, you will understand that right now the country is facing a form of insecurity and everyone needs to be careful. How do you go live to take money from these same bandits that you condemn everywhere online, everywhere in your own environment? Like, It is really not a cool thing at all. Well, we're going to discuss this morning, of course, and I'm with Jumai Mansing. Good morning, Jumai.
Good morning, Ogochukwu. How are you doing today?
Very well, thank you. We're still talking about insecurity.
Still talking about insecurity. When I saw that video, I actually laughed so hard, but at the same time, I said to myself, what happened to our conscience when these individuals come out to give out giveaways? It doesn't matter the amount of money. This is, according to me, blood money. Individuals have died in the process of these monies in which they are giving out. Families have lost fortunes. Families have sold particularly what they have to bring out their loved ones in the hands of these miscreants in captivity. It's just unfortunate. But first of all, I hope this is not a prank, because collecting 100,000 naira and then they are contacting, telling you 100 million naira, and for goodness sake, you know that this guy doesn't have that kind of money, because if he had that kind of money, he would not put out his account details to be credited 100,000 naira. It's just unfortunate, and people make a joke of things that are not supposed to be joked with. These are people's lives. It's just unfortunate. It's very sad though, and funny at the same time, because hey, why would you even allow these bandits credit your account? Like, why? That money should not even be touched at all.
At this point, I'm not really surprised, because, you know, I remember when the late President Muhammadu Buhari called the youth lazy Nigerian youth. And, you know, most of the people we saw there on that live, or most of the persons who actually dropped their account number were youth. They were actually youth, because these are the people that actually use these, platforms so well. The youth use TikTok a lot. And again, I'm not also surprised, because tell me why up until now, nobody has come out to say we have been able to track these people, despite the fact that they use social media every day.
As a
this
tool.
This is the only way they transmit information. They share footages online. They also go live almost all the time on TikTok. We see them. I've come across different, TikTok page of these people, and no one is saying they can track them. Like, it's not funny anymore. That's why when I saw youths actually doing this, giving out account number, you know, and most of the account numbers that were given out, because I read through someone's page, the person said, I was also part of this live. I joined it live, but I did not give out my account number. And she said she was concerned because most of the account numbers given out were OPay and Money Points. You remember that these account numbers are actually linked to your phone numbers.
Yes, they are.
So it's easy for them to get you. It's easy for them to track you. So we are not just sensitive at all. We know what is happening, but we are not sensitive to the condition and to the environment, to what is playing. We are not even contributing to helping the country, because we are not good Nigerians at this point. If you are giving out your account number to be given some amount of money by bandits,
terrorists,
honestly, then you are one of them. Honestly, if you can actually share that money with them, then you're one of them. You're just waiting for an opportunity for you to explore your own talents, you know, kidnap people and also get ransom, because you are eating people's ransom. These are people's ransom. People paid from their sweat, blood. Some persons even died after they gave ransom.
Yes.
You understand? So because this morning when I was coming to the office this morning, I overheard from, I was actually listening to the radio, and someone said she's still looking for her cousin.
Oh.
Two of them, I think she mentioned Polytechnic in Zamfara, and she said they are still there over 3 months. They are, in as much as they actually gave them the amount they needed for the ransom, they are yet to be released. 3 months gone. So I'm asking myself, the question I just asked myself is, are they still even alive?
That is it.
And if they are alive, how is their mental health? So you can imagine you eating from that money, that share. It is really sickening. Like, can we just wake up and do this thing right? Like, for once, if the government is, being slow about it, because right now I just feel like they're just dragging their feet, to be very honest, because they have everything, to do this, but they are being slow about it. The government is being slow about it. Then please do your own part, and your part is not by contributing to what is happening, because you collecting the money, you're actually contributing. Right now, why are you calling on Nigerians? Because when you got the giveaway, nobody, you didn't call on anybody to say, hey, this is what I got, so let me share with you. Why are you calling on Nigerians to help you? If they threaten you, please go ahead. In fact, I saw one comment, the woman said, the lady said, you've collected the money, just go and submit yourself. There's nothing to do. Submit yourself to them, because you're more or less, I don't want to use the word useless, but that's the way it is. You're shameless coming up here on social media to say, I'm sorry, I collected 100,000 naira, but they're demanding 100 million naira. Like you're being shameless right now.
Yes, exactly. Aside being shameless, no empathy whatsoever. That means what is happening in the country only concerns them, forgetting that now it has gotten to your doorstep. So now you understand the brunt of what individuals face when they demand such ransoms from them. It's just unfortunate. Like you said, the youths have a lot to understand about security, have a lot to understand about terrorism, have a lot to understand about empathy, have a lot to understand about sympathy. It's just unfortunate that this is where we are. Desperation has come into play. A lot of people find it hard to make ends meet, and that is why whatever opportunity, whether good or bad, comes in play, they take it without blinking an eye, and it's unfortunate. Integrity is very important. It doesn't matter whether I know there's a friend of mine that says his mother taught them a vital lesson, that it doesn't matter how hungry you are, you must never show it. You must maintain decorum, you must comport yourself. It's very important. That is part of discipline, and I think most of us as Nigerians, we do not have that, at the detriment of people's lives. People have people have died because of that monies in which they are giving out. Why would you are supposed to even curse them and tell them, how dare you come up here to give us blood money? Are you okay? But you see, that's the thing. When desperation comes into play, anything goes, and that is where we are. And it's unfortunate that we have a lot to learn.
I like it when you said desperation, because I think many youths right now, we're desperate. We just want it fast. We want it to happen quick, at the snap of our fingers. Let it just happen. And, most persons are not even content with whatever it is they have. They are working, but they still want extra. This is where all of this corruption has actually led us to. It is corruption. And most times people, blame economic hardship. But please, you can actually maintain integrity, just like Jumai had said. Thank you so much, Jumai, for your contribution.
You're welcome
to today's topic. Yes, and if you're listening to us, this is where we call it, this is where we close the curtain for Social Pulse here on Global Morning. But I will leave you in the hands of Jumai and Uyi as they usher us into the discussion section of Global Morning. So stay with us. Good morning once again, Nigerian and viewers around the world. I am Ogochukwu Mobno. Bye for now.
When social media speaks, we listen and we bring you the extra. It's your one-stop shop for trends, tweets, and the tea everyone's sipping on. Join the conversation, share your thoughts, and get that extra dose of what's shaking the internet.
And on issues making wave on social media to your doorstep.
Social Boss Extra, where the trend meets the talk, only on Global TV.
Wake up with Global Morning, your daily guide to what's happening and making the rounds.
We delve into headlines, newspaper reviews, spot-on analysis, policies, current events, real talk, real issues that affect us all.
From the latest trends to the debate, every topic, every angle, Global Morning is where it all starts.
Global Morning,
For the latest issues,
always on point.
watch Global Morning Monday to Friday at 7 a.m. Saturday and Sunday at 8 a.m. on Global Television.
In an age of breaking news, you need a trusted source that prioritizes accurate, factual, and unbiased reporting. This is AM News, and I am Ubong Usoro.
On Global Television, our news is rooted in verified and authoritative storytelling that keeps you educated, informed, and enlightened on all the issues that matter to you. I am Sadia Yakubu. This is Midday News.
You can trust our multi-platform news broadcast real-time and fast-check stories for all the big local and foreign headlines round the clock. I am Ramsey Enoch Agbo. This is News Express.
Our array of anchors delivers the news to our teeming viewers, breaking it down with context and perspective. This is News Cycle on Global Television. I am Anieti Patrick.
And the flagship news is your hub for the day's most engaging stories. This is News Prime, and I am Jumai Manson.
Did you miss any of our news rounds? No worries. Catch up at 10 p.m. and midnight, 7 days of the week. I am Mukhtar Kasim.
Global TV is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. We're active across all social media platforms at Global TV NG.
Global TV News, accurate and unbiased. I'm Uyi Agmofwebe.
Thank you so very much for joining us this morning, everyone, for this particular conversation, which has to do with one of the biggest, if you like, most disturbing developments in our dear country, Nigeria, at this point in time. We spent 15, 16 years talking about insecurity getting right in our country, especially at that time as it had to do with Nigeria's northeast. But today, it has become far bigger than a regional or zonal problem. It is now a nationwide concern. And as it stands today, kidnapping in itself is becoming a little more disturbing than the overall security problem as we know it. And add to that the demand for ransom, which has become some sort of industry for all sort of criminal elements in our dear country on our very own soil. As it stands again today, we realize that for everybody kidnapped, is only the default setting that you expect there will be a call demanding ransom. How, in the first instance, did we get here as a government and as a people? How much of efforts have we genuinely and sincerely made to ensure that we win this war? And add to that the concern of, well, controversy straining the stories we hear regarding insecurity in our country today. And for families who are practically struggling to live from hand to mouth, do they have the means to raise all of these monies to ensure that their people are released from captivity, those who are in the hands of these criminal cells scattered across our country? To help us find sense in this conversation this morning, we are distinctly honored to have with us Otumba Bolaji Adigun. He's the Deputy Chief of Staff, PCRC, and Zone 7 Chairman. I would like to say a big thank you to you, Otumba Adigun, for always making the sacrifice to honor us with your time here.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for being a part of the program.
Thank you. Good morning, Global TV.
Great. I think, okay, so the last time we spoke with you, again, was about insecurity. But there's an angle of this very disturbing development that we probably don't talk a lot about, which has to do with not just insurgency or banditry, but this kidnapping. You take people hostage, you take them from their farmlands, you take them from their workplaces where they're doing legitimate work, you take them from their homes at night, you plunder communities, and then you demand for ransom. It will appear the case in Orire local government area in Oyo State has reignited this conversation. For somebody who is very familiar with security architecture, I mean, you've been volunteer for decades, pushing the narrative, making efforts to ensure that insecurity in our country is cut to the barest. What is your assessment of this particular situation as it has to do with demand for ransom by criminals?
Well, I want to say good morning first.
Very good morning to you.
The scenario and what's happening within the country now, it's very saddening. And it needs a lot of urgent steps to be taken. First, I don't want to put blames now, but what is the way forward? The way forward is that the government needs to wake up and see what they can do at the best. We are all know now that we are in the era of electronics.
Right.
Now, if we have been talking, we don't have gun. I think there are a lot of things that have taken place that can help, because when you prevent, it's better than curing. And I'm not saying Oyo State alone. Most of the governors, the security vote they have been given, I think it's high time for them to be giving us what they are doing with it.
Right.
Because we're not fighting war. And every year we say they give the security vote. This security vote, if I'm the one, is supposed to be preventive. Why you buy ammunition? It is when there is war you're going to fight it.
That's right.
But what we don't do is when you build a house and the house is not having fence, it's better for you to fence your house and put a gate. That has at least secured you for almost about 10 to 15%.
Right.
God takes everything care of it. But he said himself that do your best and leave the rest for me. With what is happening now, we are taking it as a joke, but it's getting deeper and deeper every day. You discover that now there's no much armed robbery. But now they have diverted to kidnapping. And I want to ask, I keep on asking myself, what is happening with the electronic devices we are having? The modern, if you Google now, you can see what is happening within a ratio or a radio or ratio of about 1,000 kilometers. We have the money. The budget is supposed to be given. And if like I said, what are they doing with the security?
That's what for the state governors.
For the state governors. But they need to account for it. Right. And it's high time. Now we know what are they doing with it. Then coming down even to the local government chairman. The roads are bad. No medicine in the hospital. Then what are we doing with it? Then now we are not talking about losing life of people that could be better to take care of our country. Right. We are losing them at a later age. It's very sad.
Otumba, I want to ask a question. You see, when we see videos of these kidnappers in action or the abductees in the captivity of these kidnappers, we see a lot that goes by. We see that they are being tortured, beaten, and you see that scenario that is being painted. How do we differentiate what is real and what is false?
Well, that is where the media has to come up. Because now we are having a lot of junk reporters. We have a lot of fake media news. And with this so-called AID or what do you call it?
Artificial intelligence.
At the end, you can see, you can remove my head and put your own head. And so where are we going? We are supposed to be developing with these things, but not killing ourselves. For example, when you look at there are some places that some women say they cannot watch. It's not true. It's not true. Because we are all human beings. And why I'm saying is that the troops and the security that are pursuing these bandits, they know what they do because they know they are shielding them with our people. By the time you want to attack, casualty will be much. So there are a lot of tactics they are using to capture them. At least when you push a goat to the river or you push a goat to this it's going to bite. So what we are doing now is, I think it's tactical and it's timing. And by the special grace of God, I am giving the confidence that with the news we are hearing and with the forces, especially our new IG, this is putting all place. As at yesterday, still give the confidence. But what I think we are doing now that I'm appreciating, that we are not giving the system or the loopholes that the bandits always see on our platform. What I'm trying to say that we can say, okay, we are moving to Ahmadu Bello Way. Any person on Ahmadu Bello will now know he has to move to Kasim Ibrahim Road. So what we need to do is that it's better to also be quiet and be tactical and bring this end result. The result is what we need. It's not how well you start, but how well you end it. And by the special grace of God, we are praying seriously. But prayers without action is still nothing. So the Christians are praying, the Muslims are praying, and the security agents are doing their best, which I am believing and trusting in God within the shortest time. Things will go.
But they also said that the traditional worshippers are praying. You didn't acknowledge that.
I've said it.
I just said that in Liza. But quite frankly, Otumba, someone would naturally ask, how did we get here? Because you made a very if you like, thought-provoking point when you talked about how that it's cheaper, it's easier, it's faster, and better to prevent than to cure. That's within the palace of medical sciences. But when you bring it to other areas of life, it's the same sense that it makes. Could we have prevented this in the first instance? Maybe events have overtaken all that, so we don't want to cry over spilled milk, as they say. But we are disturbed about where these monies go. You don't pay people 100 million criminals on our soil, a country that is sovereign. You pay 100 million naira into whether an account or you do it by cash. Nobody's tracking the monies. Before now, a few years ago, even the police would come out and tell you, we do not pay ransom. We did not pay ransom in this particular case. We got these abductees out using credible intel. Our men hit the ground and so on and so forth. But today, even the police is ashamed to tell you whether or not they paid ransom, because the police now know that ransoms are paid. It will be foolhardy to say ransoms are not paid.
No, I can come out on that.
Families come out to say
I can come out on that. When ransom will be paid, police will not be told. It is whatever they tell the police. But
the police will come out and say, we rescued the
you did their job. You can't drop somebody, like for example, you are in Abuja now.
Right.
You can't drop somebody at Nyanya. Somebody was with person home, a place that you have not been. So whoever took them from that portion has done his own portion. But what we are trying to say that, like we said, so many governors have gone to bed.
Even as of today?
They are still sleeping. And they need to wake up, because they have sworn to keep the properties and human beings. That's their overall, and they are the custodian of every state.
Right. And
whatever happened, positively or negatively, it was supposed to hand them over. And history goes a long way. I'm very, very sad the way Oyo State wants to end, because Governor Seyi Makinde has done a lot, either politically or otherwise, because there are a lot of rumor, and we don't believe in rumor. But by God's power, the reality will come up, and it's going to be a lesson to us. What I'm trying to say to the governors is, because you feel your place is not happening in somebody, now it's more heat. Because what happened there is more sympathetic for a 2-year-old, 4-year-old to be taken away and now get it to a month. A place, the person that has been sleeping on couch, the person that has been taking milk, the person that has been taking medication, that have been, and now they are in a bush. We are zoomed in a bush. But whatever happened, my belief is that by the special case, it's going to be a lesson to all governors to always see it right. Because when you plan, you will not fail. But once you don't plan, and there's a war, definitely they'll be scattered, because you won't be able to control. So what we need to do that, even schools, for God's sake, needs to be fenced. They're supposed to be at minimum of 2-3 scattered or well-placed security men for information. What does it cost to have walking talkie? You raise alarm. And why are we having the security numbers? These people, according to them, they will come on machine, 200 machine crossing the town, and getting their job done, and without being stopped, without being checked. And in our own state, in our own town, in our own country, it's a shame on us for an outsider to be able to know our route better than us.
But you know what, Otumba, these individuals have sophisticated guns.
It is assumption. This is what we say sophisticated. What I'm trying to say, like he asked me, what are we doing with our traditional worshippers? There are people that God does not penetrate. We all know it.
But are they young? Are they
now, this is where I'm going at. Now we need to come to the drawing board. When we are talking of community policing, these people should be involved. That is what is called community. Everybody is going to be involved. So what we need to do now, go to the class of community policing, but under one umbrella, and which they are ready, because they will have some papa that they hang something in their house, they have not even used it for months. But if you don't go and meet him, you say it's not called. And he cannot go and do prognosis on what is not called. So we still have them. So that's why I'm saying that this country we are going now, we need to have 3 arms of security. Traditional worshippers, Christian and Muslim. And let everybody do his own. All we want is peace. Before Christianity comes, before Muslim comes, we are having tradition. We are having something we are worshipping. And that does not mean condemn it, is because Christianity has come and we have said we have volunteered to follow Christ. Before Christ came in, there was tradition. And I want to say, I'm a Yoruba man, it was even better because that one is an automatic answer. And we still have them. But Christianity and Islam has taken most of these things. So what I'm saying is that if I'm a leader today, I will open it. If you have your power, bring it under a certain rules and regulation. Those days we used to have that somebody will raise his hand up and you are not somebody, you see him gone. Somebody will say, okay, meet me at home. You are trekking together before you know he's gone home. Where are those powers? It's not facetious.
But it's not everyone that believes in such.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like there will be three. If you believe in Christianity, you follow Christianity. If you follow you want to go on this thing. Why we have Hindus? In other countries, I went to Jerusalem. In a street, we have three divisions of worshiping. A Muslim goes on his way, a Christian goes on his way, and the other one goes on his way. And they are even, I can quote any person to come in. They are even more than us. So what I was saying is my belief, and my own Christianity is in my heart. And what the Christianity teaches, don't harm your neighbor. Islam said don't harm your neighbor. Who are the people harming us now? Are they facetious people? No. So we ask that question, where do we put our religion? Because that's not what it preaches.
I want us to talk about something that is, if you like, a bit more timely now. The conversation around state policing. We're back to that point now. The National Assembly says latest by end of July, we would have done our part in terms of the legal framework around state policing. The current IG, Mr. Tunji Disu, says, look, it is the way going forward. I mean, we've got to have state police. And the president, from his body language, from a couple of actions here and there, is also very clear that he is keen on ensuring that we introduce state police. Are you confident in the process?
Fantastic. Like I said, we have now seen everything by ourselves. When I say community policing, my state now, I know my boundary of my area. I know the roots of my area. I know the river behind my area. If you remember Lagos one time when they were crossing, people fell into Lagoon because they don't know.
Right.
But those people who knows it will not fall into it.
They avoided it.
They avoided it. And that's what is called community policing. It is supposed to be an enemy that's supposed to fall into that place. Because when you push him, you pursue him, he falls and say bye-bye. If you can swim, you swim, but nobody can swim this type of ocean. But what I'm trying to say that the question you're asking, the framework is already ready, which I am part of it. My national chairman is part of it and is pursuing it seriously. Alhaji Noga Jolani is pursuing community policing. Like I said one time, we were not in support of it, but now the reality has come that you have to defend your community.
It's the way forward.
That's the way forward. And we pray, like we said, end of July, very soon, because everything has been passed. And I can tell you that with even the present recruitment of 50,000 policemen is part of the community. Because we, the PCRC, were asked to go and screen by the Police Service Commission to make sure it's people from that state, from that village, that came to look for recruitment. And the best thing now is when you now finish the training, they return you back. And that's why I said it's better to train the people within the community to be able to handle the way they, because if you, someone like me, are not trained as a police officer, but when I can go for a training, or my daughter or my son can go for training, when they come back, they know how to defend us better. And this is what community policing is all about. You can only control within your own community. The moment you get out of that area, you're no more a community person. You can only assist whoever is there, like for a disbursement or a reimbursement of, let's assume that there's a bandit here and you want to you call Gobalada Zuba, please come and help us, so they will move. And that's what even happening in your state now. All the Southwestern are ready to volunteer and push and make sure the victims are rescued.
Otumba, aside state policing, now let us talk about these forest guards. What's your take on forest guards? Do you think it's a step in the right direction? Is there collaboration with individuals who are going to be involved in state policing? Do you think they have the right, I'm looking for a word now, the right training? Do you think they're up to the task with this? They are going to be in the forest, not in the city. What's your take?
Madam Gloria, I want to tell you that we must start somewhere. And my belief, just like you said, let us start. There will be division of labor. Because just like we have in the police now, What the police now do is, if you are a driver, you will be promoted as a driver. If you are a carpenter, you will be driver. You will be promoted as a carpenter. Now, those days, a driver moved to guard. This one, but now when you have professionalism, when you have
you follow that path from beginning to end.
Good, and that's better, and that's what's happening in America. Because there's a talent God given to you. You cannot, now as we're talking, if they take you to a medical line now, you can't do anything. But you can be an expert, because you, even where you are now, you are not gotten to the end yet, because you are still expanding, you are still researching. So what we are trying to say that by the time we bring this, for example, if we have like 1,000 on at a 5 local government, you will dispose them. You'll be able to ask, somebody who can volunteer, I want to go to the bush now. Somebody like Igboho now, he said he's looking for federal government backing. But must we wait? I am the person, like I said on my Twitter, I will go first and bring the horse and I ask for whatever, because people's life is very important.
You say sincerity in what Mr. Sonic Boy is saying.
Exactly.
It's the heart, let me tell you.
But does it mean the federal government to clearly give him the go-ahead?
But what I'm trying to say, I'm not in support of that. Because there are procedures. When you rationally give, because I will give, I don't want to mention name. There are places that when you remember there was a time that give me, I'm going to check all this pipeline. There's still vandalism. But it's given the power. But he will tell you cannot be everywhere. That's another excuse. Why not let us practice it and see where we can amend ourselves? If I'm the person that had that power today, I won't be where I am today. I will be there. I would prefer to lose my life like Mango Park than saying I want to have license. License to do what? To go and save human being? Why not go and save them and bring them alive? And now tell government, I brought this in and this is what I want. Even you're going to get more compensation than what you expected. Because there are going to be a lot of goodwill messages. There are going to be a lot of goodwill supporters.
So like you said, Otumba, there are procedures to all of these things. He can't just go by himself.
What I'm trying to say, procedure is that when President Tinubu was there, he said he gives a blanket recruitment of 1,000 members to volunteer. What stopped me from joining? He wants to be or say yes, I want to be given, but that's a procedure because I'm going to be a paraline security man,
right?
And you are not licensed. You've not been, so nobody. It's whatever he says we have. But what I'm trying to say, since there's a volunteer, I would have said, okay, even if I cannot lead, and let me contribute my factor. When they get to the, they don't just go like Dundee. Everybody moves on it. Tactically, and if I know where they are, I can just go and say, okay, all what you have been looking for is there. Please, this is me, and this is what I want. That's a simple thing. So all this saying, I want this. This is not the time of theory. It is the time of practical, and it is the practicalism we want to see, and this will help us to know where we are. So these are the areas that we need to work on. This is the time all hands must be on deck. Either you are a Christian, either you are a Muslim, either you are a traditionalist. If you are all prayers is that let these children come back, because nobody wants to lose these 2 years, 4 years, and others that are now in captivity.
It's interesting, Otumba, because now Juma asked a very witty question when she talked about the forest guards. We hear 1,000 of them were dispersed, you're alone. So that would have maybe given a hint to say maybe going forward the model would be dispersing 1,000 in each state. Again, that's just speculation.
Let us practice it.
Exactly.
And see the result. Now we are having on your state, and we are told that in the forest,
right? And
we have forest guards, and we have Christian, we have Muslim, we have this. Let us have the result. When we have the result, we can go back to that table. What are our difficulties? And we really want. And I'm telling you, like I'm saying, that other governors will learn from this and be able to be more proactive, because they have been sleeping, thinking that everything is okay. But that is the weakening, and that's because they know a lot of people are facing politics,
right?
And that is why they were able to strike. Because everybody eyes is on politics. What I want to this 27, this one is here, because it is, and those guys, they have intelligent officers too. Most of them are not illiterate.
Right.
They are being trained, so they know where people are weak. Maybe like, for example, they know your bed. The moment they know you go and buy something, bread, and you come back without locking your door, somebody can just dodge and sit. Immediately you are locking your door, you will not use that same door and open and left. So when you say thief, he has easy access, and that's exactly what happened. Because when you are sleeping, somebody is watching you. So I want to tell the governors that they should all be upright and see how they can save us by having enough people to save. It's not only Oyo State. Look at what is happening in Plateau State.
In Katsina.
In Katsina is happening. So this thing is going, and the Southwest is a test case because it's happening in Kwara. And from Kwara to Oyo State is less than 45 minutes.
We've also had pockets of cases in Ogun and Ekiti.
So that's what I'm saying.
Oshu has not been left out.
Oshu have not, because Oshu is in center. But they want to start with all those areas. And the best thing that if they come together, they are all intelligent governors. They know what to do. And what I want to say that this is the time they need to act. Because history will tell whatever you do and whatever, because like I'm saying, it's saddening for what has happened in Oyo State, because Seyi Makinde has done a lot in Oyo State. But now, the result at the end is not palatable. But by the special grace of God, if we pray and God answers us, it's going to be a credit to him again. But all this fake news, it is political. Nobody will want to say, because I want to be a president and I want to handcuff, what are you going to do with their blood? It's not. We have so many fake. Some people say it's Wike. What has Wike gone to? Wike in Abuja had to do in Oyo State. But some of us, we kill ourselves with the fake news just to bring. There are some people that I can see that they don't want the peace of this country, because maybe one of them are benefiting from one thing or the other benefiting from one thing or the other. But with this that is happening, I have the belief that every sensible person will know that some of these news are fake. Even in like last week, now the woman was saying, please help us. All these things we are hearing because they play tape. The woman said nothing like that. And that they are well checked. That means there's a political tone on this thing. That they are well taken care of. And that they are well fed. But the only thing that they are open. But if it's food, but what I'm trying to say that the government should see the best they can do. Because I heard a news that they said they arrested people giving them food. You don't stop those people from giving them food, because once you stop those people, they can be starved. But the people that are used to 3 meals in a day and they are not getting food for a week, they'll start dying or something else will start.
Malnourishment.
That is it. So anything we are doing, that I'm saying, the government is taking its time to study the situation. Someone I say, why not go and bomb them? You can't bomb somebody that they used in Chile and they are in the center.
That will collateral damage.
Exactly.
So it's better. I appreciate what they are doing, and like I said, the information on what they are doing, the tactics they are doing, is not being spread out, except for people who are very close or very internal, and we keep it to ourselves.
In what ways do you think we can hold governors more accountable for a country that is so focused on the president, especially as it has to do with insecurity? How do we hold governors effectively to account? We've talked about, for example, the security votes, which governors do not account for. Nigerians, for the most part, have no idea how much governors get. And we also understand that the more crisis you have in your state as a governor, the higher the security votes that accrues to you, which again makes it economical, makes it very, if you like, tempting to want to continue to drive crisis. Do you think, from what you know so far, given your position, that we have not only politicized this, but we are deriving economic benefit from it, especially from the political class?
Well, you see, when it comes to wealth, Nigeria will like acquiring what is even more than, because somebody like me, I don't pray I should have 1 billion. I don't pray at my age to have 1 billion.
So if you get 1 billion, would you give the excess to Juma?
It will even kill me early.
No, but he asked, will you give the excess to me or to me?
I will do. I will do, because everyone has.
We have your record now.
No, that's what I'm saying. If I get a 1 billion today, before God, man, I won't be able to sleep. Yes. What am I going to do with it? At 70 years, some people are 64, 65, they're having billions. What are you going to take it yourself? I remember one of these, our mathematical, I've forgotten his name. He said it's a madman that kills billion. Because you cannot spend it. Your family cannot spend it alone. And you hear somebody taking 4.8 billion, 50-something billion. Somebody, a country's budget, and one person is keeping it. It's mad. The person is mental. What all I just need is to eat. You can't drive 2 cars at a time. We can see the convoy.
You can't sleep in 2 beds.
You can't sleep on 2 beds. So you have to think of yourself. Even if you are sleeping in 2 beds, there there will be a time that you will not be able to turn, because once you sleep off until they wake you up before you go to bed. So even buying 3 beds is of no use. So what I'm trying to say, that all this is necessity, and we have forgotten that the Creator who created us, we are going to be accountable to Him one day. Either you're a Christian or you're a Muslim. What I'm trying to say, that I'm not saying people should know, like you are saying, how we can do this is very simple. Like now they are campaigning. People of the caliber should be able to tell us, are you ready to give us account every 6 months? Even if it's yearly, it will help us to tell us what you have done. They call it press briefing. How much has come in? And you will face the whole. People can, an accountant will tell us how much has come in. I can bet you that I want to appreciate BK, and I'm saying it in public, for what, because we have seen what he has done with our money. Forget about the inflation. But what are people who will do it for years, no results and no money? So at least we say, if somebody does something for a step, let us say, well done. We all can see, now I left Kubwa, now under 15 minutes I'm already here. If it's before, I will spend 1 hour 30 minutes. You burn fuel, you'll be hindsight, and there'll be accident because I'll be overtaken anyhow. But now there are a lot of roads. There are 3 routes leading to central area. It depends on you. And when going back home to the same thing. So what I'm trying to say, that if he has done his own today, let the next person pick a project and do it. Before you know it, within 4 to 16 years, everything will be perfect. And let it be practiced at the state level too. And like I said, how they can be accountable to it. Like I said, Oyo State, we have never had war for the past, I can say for the past 15 years. And insecurity vote is given. You are only complimenting the Nigerian police that are there. You are complimenting the Nigerian army that are there and other agencies. But what are you doing with your community? Each local government chairman is supposed to know what is happening, what is his priority on safety of not only children now, but entrance to your fence, entrance to your local government. If we have all these things, like I see in some areas abroad, to enter a certain level, you now see welcome to so. That alone, put 1 or 2 people to man that place. When there's a stranger that goes in, he will be able to inform, and coming out will be a problem. Ordinary in the jail, I'm sorry to say, I went in without reporting. When I'm coming out, I was fined. And all they did was to put a train on the road. When I just wanted when my driver horn, he refused to open. They said I should come down. They said, why is my laissez-passer? That's I'm supposed to have an insurance for only 5 days.
Right.
Visit. Number 2, I did not report myself to the police. And they told me the room I slept. It shocked me. And I was given fine and I paid.
That's our neighbor.
That's our neighbor. And those people are still using our telephone system that we have rejected, that smallish one with that black head. And that's why they are still queuing. And they are still, and look at their road so tiny, but they maintain. So what I'm trying to say, that everything we want to do nowadays, it has to be changed for me. Everybody will have that
and your conscience.
Conscience. That is the most important, conscience. And the people that are there, they should keep their dignity. Once we are given this money, you cannot eat it alone. And if you eat it alone, look, I remember that they said there are some places that we are seeing a bulk of money that are already soiled, spoiled. Right. It's a cost. Where some people are hungry, some people are dying because of Panadol. And you are keeping millions in the tank, and it cannot be, it has become absolutely that the bank cannot even take it back, and you have to go and put fire and burn it. Man, we have a long way to go in Nigeria. We have a long way to go.
Quite disturbing. What do you say to people who talk about how that Nigeria is not ready to fight insecurity? That if Nigeria was ready to fight insecurity, you would see that even defense leadership is held accountable. Because, I mean, look at the budget every other year, Otumba. You realize that the bulk of our budgeting goes into the military, goes into defense. That's number one. My second question to you is, how do we also harness the energy of the youth, the young people in this country, in terms of fighting insecurity? Because in a country where you say at least 65% of the population is youth, It means that there must be some value we can get from that. Instead of just crying the whole day, we can't create opportunities for them. How do we take advantage?
My brother, it's very simple, which you started, like I'm saying. 1,000 kilometers of steps starts with 1 day. The 50,000 out of youth. And let me gist you that the highest, I think, in age is 4 plus 7, 21. 19 years plus 4 years, making it 23. These are the people the police is recruiting now, and in all professions. So if every year, and before the end of the year, our IGP promised another, Police Service Commission promised another 50,000 on or before November. 50 plus 50, that's 100.
Police alone.
Police alone. And the same thing. The only thing that I know the army are not doing, they are not publicizing their own because they don't want to carry anybody. We need local, but army, the navy, they are doing recruitment too, because they too. When you listen to the war college also, they said the same thing, that they are on that and they are giving. But what I'm trying to say that, like I mentioned, 1,000 kilometers start with one. Let's start where we are now. This is 2026, so that by 2027 we now know where we are again. We want to know these people that we are going. We need another 100,000. Right. So step by step, we shall get there. Because by the time you just rush into this, you will carry the bad elements. And one person can spoil the whole world because he has a plans in his mind and he has a target, and whereas you are not having. If you remember what happened in the plane. So what I'm trying to say that we should be careful in even recruiting. Right. Say because there's a problem, bring everybody. You can even bring somebody that is going to be more harmful than not even having.
Very true.
So what we are trying to do is that the way we are going now and the way the government is going, I think the government, they've seen the handwriting on the wall, and they are doing their best. Like I'm saying, let all governors wake up from their slumber and do the needful. That is very, very important to protect the human and property of the country.
Also, I want to ask him a question. I want to put you on the spot because you are a security expert, and of course,
well, I'm not an expert, but
I know you have, you understand the arguments when it comes to security and all of that. Looking at it critically, talking about state policing, what do you think is the major criteria states should look out for when they are recruiting to know who is for the state and not an external individual coming to just plant in more problems or put in more problems in that state?
Madam, you may have said it. PCRC was involved in the president recruitment in the whole state. I personally represented Abuja, which is FCT.
Yes.
Now, what we do is we have people from the other organization too. We have from the Service Commission. We have from the NNDLA. That at a spot, when an NDLA sees somebody who is a drunkard, or is a smoker, or is a hemp, you can identify them. There are a lot of people that are dropped. And what I love about the Abuja own is that it was a woman that was the head of the department. I call her Madam No Nonsense. When she sees anybody like this coming, she will mark and send the message to you. There are a lot of people that they rejected. But what I'm trying to say, like the question you ask, they were given, how would I call it, a birth certificate of their local government. And they didn't do it alone. It was either the Miangwa or the Esudawaki or this that gave some recommendation from the village. Because what they did, it is local government by local government. So, and they will ask question, from where are you? So. And people that knows each local government are seated by the side. And as I said, the recruitment that was done, there are over 100,000 plus. But I think they're able to, in Abuja, I think they're able to get about 12,000 something. Other ones are rejected. And because of the screening, because the Police Service Commission, Baba Arugogo, is very strict on bringing a bad egg
into the system.
And is very, very meticulous on that. It normally comes on unexpected inspection, on-ground assessment. And we there too, we make sure at 8 o'clock we resume. Sometimes we close 7 o'clock. So it was a heavy, and that's why you see this time there's not been any noise on recruitment. And it was said, if a uniform man is talking to any person on white, they ask, what are you telling her? It's not your duty. They're on queue, and when you're on queue, you go alphabetically, and when you're going home, you go direct. Not that you say, don't worry, I will speak to Julie, she will give you a... You don't, whoever comes with anything, they mark it red X. Because we want to get the best. And it's a sampling. And like I said, the next one batch will be within November and December.
Okay, fantastic.
Thank you.
Well, interesting. But let's talk about, as we begin to wind up now, Otumba, let's also now talk about sincerity of purpose. Elections are close. You have two sides to a coin. On the one hand, the ruling party, the APC, wants to look good in the sight of Nigerians because obviously perception matters. We want you to vote for us so we can return to power, so we can stay in power. So we want to give you the impression we're working on the issue of insecurity. That's on the side of the ruling party. On the side of the opposition political parties, they are also taking advantage of this ugly development to rail against the ruling party, to say you are not doing enough, to say you are slack, to say you're sleeping on it. That's why Nigerians are dying, Nigerians are being kidnapped, and they're paying hundreds of millions in ransom. When it's all said and done, do you see all these efforts going beyond 2027?
Well, politics is always like that. It's a swimming pool.
It's a swimming pool.
It's a swimming pool wherever everybody swims and whoever comes out, comes out. But the other area I'm talking, it is now left for us to vote for
us being with the people?
We card carriers.
Okay.
That's where the power is.
That's where the power is. And that's why some people, you will see some opposition leaders have been saying, okay, don't worry, the people, but how sincere are they? It's not I'm going to do road, I'm going to give medical. But like you said, there must be feedback mechanism. There must be a way of giving us results. There must be a way of assessment. All these things, we need to have it. And that's why I was expecting that even if it's a non-person that can give me that idea, and that is, yes, I'm ready to sacrifice myself, not coming to blow grammar. Right. And when you get everything and you come, you start getting take classes and one, nobody sees you again. No, you should be as liberal and you should be as local as what you are. Taking you to the office does not make a change. Look at abroad. I remember somebody that said when he was leaving the office, he went back on a bicycle to his house. It's a plus. And sleeping very good. But now our own, when you are going, you go home, you even the 5 chips given to you. What are you going to do with it as an ordinary man again? Why not leave the same? Like we are saying now, all these chips being bought by 2027, and you see that no one will be available. We are now buying on that one. Why can't Nigerians ask where is that product? Why should we take it home?
Just so we quickly put this in perspective, there's something that's a bit, if you like, it's disturbing, it's concerning. We've seen Nigerians, notable Nigerians, some of them even within the ruling party, saying that, look, as it stands right now, citizens have to take their own destinies in their hands. Self-help, all right? Self-defense and all that. No less a person than Daniel Bwala, who happens to be one of the media handlers of President Tinubu, saying that, look, self-defense is it. We heard a respected Nigerian talking about General Theophilus Danjuma retired, also saying that, look, this is getting, overboard. Nigerians must now sit down and be proactive, take your own defense as your own responsibility. If you look at it holistically, without trying to be politically correct, don't you think that's the way to go?
Well, like you said, I think we have been deceived and they're realizing it. You know, there was a time that every weapons was supposed to be returned.
Right.
I can tell you.
There was a window to do that.
Window opening. And that, like I'm saying, that's where the weakness, the opposition was able to get in touch because they know we don't have any weapon again. Somebody like me, I dropped mine. And in my house now, you can only get one bullet that I kept as a souvenir. And you can't afford to buy another one now. So what we're trying to say that even if you don't have, the government can pay for security. For example, now before I come in, and I met 1, 2, 3, 4 security men. So if anything is with me, they make a lot. So what we're trying to say, if everybody is to save himself, maybe the highest thing I can buy is cutlass. And it's when I'm closer to somebody I can ask the person. Somebody that is distant can shoot me.
Right.
So what we need to do, we have to look at a lot of preventive measures. That what can we do to prevent this people?
But do you think part of those measures should be self-help in this case?
part of it should be.
Nigeria should be armed.
Yes, I'm supporting it. If you have the power. If you have the power, because most of these things, once you broke into a house and you are with gun, all you need to do is to surrender. And the people carrying these people, when they are coming, they say, according to them, they said every machine carries 3, and one of them carry the weapons. So when they are going, they are continuing shooting periodically. Yeah. And you don't have anything. All you need to do is to go under your bed. But if you have any small thing, you can also retaliate yourself. So what I'm trying to say, the government should look at it, but at the same time, they should allow, even if it's local, but they must be controlled. And like I'm saying, that's where the community comes in. If I have a weapon now, if I'm going to the next community, I don't need to carry a gun, because the next community is having almost the same thing. So what we need to do, that there are a lot of inside arrangement they need to do for you to have a weapon to defend yourself. But it must be just like now. I cannot carry gun into the plane. You have to declare it. Right. And when you are declaring it, what does I have the right? But the only now we go and declare it is when it gets there, you collect it. Or something happens in the plane. It is the work of the air hostess to work on that. So what I'm trying to do is that all these things we can borrow. It's a simple thing. Before the orderly collects his phone, the governor will drop from the plane. He will trek to the tarmac before going to the signing room to collect it. It's part of security measure. So we can practice to make. There are tons of things that we all want to do. We rush at things. But what I'm trying to say that we need to practice and measure and go back to the drawing board and say which one is benefits us. What is happening in Kaduna may not be what's going to happen in Oyo. What's going to happen in Oyo may not be what is happening in Nuku. So we need to know our geographical aspect of ourselves. What do we need to give ourselves self-defense? So these are things that it's not just everything is not gone. So I don't turn to America and then just go and do a shake, fuck you, back, you shoot. No.
But that's the disturbing part, really.
That's why I'm saying that we need to caution. Right. We need to learn from them. Is it open generally? If in a family or in a house we are allowed to carry gun, one person can carry gun, 2 people can carry, but not everybody does like we have DSTV on everywhere. It's madness. It's madness. So in a flat or in an estate, we can have 4 gunmen. Even police, not everybody can.
So you are saying it has to be regulated?
It has to be regularized.
Procedure
must be taken and study it.
As talking about regulating it, that's where the challenge again comes in.
But we shall get there, sir.
Before we get there, there's something that's already here with us. Which
some are having already.
Right. Small arms, light weapons.
Yes.
I mean, they are proliferated in astronomical numbers, right? Incidentally, we have an office that is domiciled with the NSA that's supposed to be in charge of that. Fantastic. Every now and then we keep hearing, especially from the police, that we are mopping up small arms, illegal arms, light weapons that are in the wrong hands and so on and so forth. Are we lying to ourselves?
They are not lying. Like I'm saying, it's because there's no regulation. Like now, I cannot carry pistol.
Right.
But I can afford to buy pistol, maybe from outside country, but it's not good. So
that would be smuggling.
That's smuggling. But what I'm trying to say that what they need to do, and what I believe they're doing, the way we're having passport office.
Right.
Let us have it maybe regionally or state by state. Whereby, okay, which area you are in Sabonpeg? What is the volume of people there? Maybe 1,000 people. Okay. We can license 4 people.
Right.
And they will be left, right, and center. There's a gate, and now I'm saying all these things we need to practice this. Once there's a little bit of conscious, a criminal a criminal always go to a field landing. He might have studied the land that no blockage. Nobody will come and kidnap somebody inside central area. But you see, we're waiting for him to get to AYA, where now he can escape, or to escape to Nasarawa. So all this they study it. You will never hear they've kidnapped somebody in central area. Right. But it's when he's going home, probably at the toll gate, where he knows that once he gets it, he hits. And it's no express to Lokoja, no road. He can turn on the road to another village. So all these things we need to study. Number one, will let us know the inventory of our entrance to each state. Borders aspect needs to be worked on. That's where the immigration tool comes in. NNDA has to know this, because that's where when they don't smoke, when they don't take drugs, they cannot misbehave. Right. So everybody needs to sit right to know. It's not gone. There are a lot of things that we are weak in defending. Even our judicial needs to stand up, because the truth needs to be told.
Incidentally, I'm afraid this is the much that will allow us take. You can rest assured that Otumba Bolaji Adigun is the kind of man who, when you get him on this kind of conversation, it's almost endless. We'd like to say big thank you to you for coming to the program. And just by way of reminder, Otumba Bolaji Adigun is the Deputy Chief of Staff, PCRC, as well as Zone 7 Chairman. He has been sharing his thoughts on security-related issues in our dear nation at this point in time. We appreciate your expertise and deep thought.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, let's take a quick break. Shortly, we'll be back and we'll be looking at something that is a bit unconventional, but that our country needs at this very crucial point in our history. To stay with us.
Wake up with Global Morning, your daily guide to what's happening and making the rounds.
We delve into headlines, newspaper reviews, spot-on analysis, policies, current events, real talk, real issues that affect us all.
From the latest trends to the debate, every topic, every angle, Global Morning is where it all starts.
Global Morning,
For the latest issues,
always on point.
watch Global Morning Monday to Friday at 7 a.m. Saturday and Sunday at 8 a.m. on Global Television.
In an age of breaking news, you need a trusted source that prioritizes accurate, factual, and unbiased reporting. This is AM News, and I am Ubong Usoro.
On Global Television, our news is rooted in verified and authoritative storytelling that keeps you educated, informed, and enlightened on all the issues that matter to you. I am Sadia Yakubu. This is Midday News.
You can trust our multi-platform news broadcast real-time and fast-check stories for all the big local and foreign headlines round the clock. I am Ramsey Enoch Agbo. This is News Express.
Our array of anchors delivers the news to our teeming viewers, breaking it down with context and perspective. This is News Cycle on Global Television. I am Anieti Patrick.
And the flagship news is your hub for the day's most engaging stories. This is News Prime, and I am Jumai Manson.
Did you miss any of our news rounds? No worries. Catch up at 10 p.m. and midnight, 7 days of the week. I am Mukhtar Kasim.
Global TV is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. We're active across all social media platforms at Global TV NG.
Global TV News, accurate and unbiased. I'm Uyi Agmofwebe. Wake up with Global Morning, your daily guide to what's happening and making the rounds.
We delve into headlines, newspaper reviews, spot-on analysis, policies, current events, real talk, real issues that affect us all.
From the latest trends to the debate, every topic, every angle, Global Morning is where it all starts.
Global Morning,
For the latest issues,
always on point.
watch Global Morning Monday to Friday at 7 a.m. Saturday and Sunday at 8 a.m. on Global Television.
In an age of breaking news, you need a trusted source that prioritizes accurate, factual, and unbiased reporting. This is AM News, and I am Ubong Usoro.
On Global Television, our news is rooted in verified and authoritative storytelling that keeps you educated, informed, and enlightened on all the issues that matter to you. I am Sadia Yakubu. This is Midday News.
You can trust a multi-platform news broadcast real-time and fast-check stories for all the big local and foreign headlines round the clock. I am Ramsey Enoch Agbo. This is News Express.
Our array of anchors delivers the news to our teeming viewers, breaking it down with context and perspective. This is News Cycle on Global Television. I am Anieti Patrick.
And the flagship news is your hub for the day's most engaging stories. This is News Prime, and I am Jumai Manson.
Did you miss any of our news rounds? No worries. Catch up at 10 p.m. and midnight, 7 days of the week. I am Mukhtar Kasim.
Global TV is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. We're active across all social media platforms at Global TV NG.
Global TV News, accurate and unbiased. I'm Uyi Agmofwebe. Wake up with Global Morning, your daily guide to what's happening and making the rounds.
We delve into headlines, newspaper reviews, spot-on analysis, policies, current events, real talk, real issues that affect us all.
From the latest trends to the debate, every topic, every angle, Global Morning is where it all starts.
All right, thank you for staying with us. Things are moving real quick, and we're maximizing the limited amount of time we have on our hands to quickly do this segment as part of Global Morning today. As part of activities commemorating World Whistleblower Day 2026, Step Up Nigeria and the platform to protect whistleblowers in Africa, it is implementing the World Whistleblower Day Arts and Media competition to engage young Nigerians in conversations around whistleblowing, accountability, transparency, and whistleblower protection. It's been a long time coming, but the narrative appears to be evolving every other day. Today we're joined by two gentlemen who are from Step Up Nigeria, one entity that is driving this narrative very vehemently and strategically. We're going to start from my far right. I left there we have Dr. Gaza, who is, as it were, the team lead, for the better words, all right, of this very particular team. And then we have in between Moses Shodipo, who is a prize winner, art category, with regards to what Step Up Nigeria is doing right now. Gentlemen, it's so good to have you on the program.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yes, Dr. Gaza, you are the ring leader. That's the best appellation I can find for you right now. So talk to us basically about what the initiative is ambitious about.
So I will start with Step Up Nigeria. So Step Up Nigeria is a non-governmental organization that is working towards trading wages between to tackle corruption in Nigeria and to also improve service delivery in Nigeria. And Step Up have been doing this for 7 years now. By God's grace, July will be 8 years in Nigeria. We've been able to reach out to over 60,000 children in Nigeria with our Catch Them Young initiative. We have other initiatives that involve like the Still Citizen Watchdog, where we go to communities and talk to them. But this time around, in partnership with the Platform to Protect Whistleblowers in Africa, we organized this particular project, which we call the World Whistleblower Day Art and Media Competition 2026. So whistleblowing is something that is very crucial in the fight against corruption. And for us to fight against corruption completely, we'll have to push in whistleblowing. And if we have more whistleblowers blowing the whistle at the place of, or at their place of work and all that, it will help sanitize the workspace in Nigeria. And so with PLAF sponsoring this program, we're able to bring in this initiative, and we saw it from the youth side. We have a large youth demography in Nigeria, and because of that, these youths have a lot of skills, creative skills, drawing, music and all that. So bringing that will help advance whistleblowing and also strengthen legal protection. That's asking the government to strengthen legal protection for whistleblowers in Nigeria.
I'm going to get to Shodipo in a minute, but I just want to push this a bit further, right?
Yes.
Whistleblowing is quite risky. It can expose people a lot. For example, you're talking about governments providing protection and what have you. But then again, with regards to Nigeria in particular, I was seeing so much of controversy around it. How is Step Up Nigeria dealing with that?
So two controversies can rise. And one controversy can be you blowing the whistle and your organization retaliating against you because you blow the whistle that is actually real.
Like you're selling out.
Exactly, and so people see you like a snitch. So people start to run away from you, which is bad. And the other narration is because people say, oh, if you blow the whistle, there is a price tag, there's an amount that will be given to you.
So you are incentivized?
Yes. So some persons may now want to blow a fake whistle.
Wow.
So you see there's the two sides to it. The good whistle blowing and someone
which can have a backlash.
Yes, we can have a backlash and someone trying to just make resources out of it. And so we from our own side, through PLAF, are supporting whistleblowers. So if someone blows the whistle, we have this platform where we will provide help. We tell you the various steps you should take so that you'll be secured at the end of the day, so you don't get retaliations or things that will harm you. While in the other side, when someone blows a false whistle, we always will cut that off, or yes, there are sanctions for that also. So and yeah, so we try to prevent that.
Quite interesting. So it's not about blowing whistle. We have to be ethical as to how we do it.
Very important.
So if I look at a guy like Shodipo, I mean, off the top of my head, I would think you're busy doing content somewhere. but what was that factor that drove your interest in this sort of initiative, and now you're a prize winner?
Thank you very much. When I saw the advert online, I was motivated because I'm a human rights activist. I speak through my painting and I have to advocate for the poor and the less privileged society. So when I saw the Step Up Nigeria advert for the competition, I was impressed that this is an avenue for me to reach out to the world so that people can hear, it's a way of depicting the act of whistleblowing. Some people don't actually know the meaning of whistleblowing. It just says about whistling, literally. But the painting is a way for me to, with painting, depict the act of whistleblowing. That when I look at my painting, it's titled Wheel of Governance. It's divided into two parts. That shows the part of the smiling leader against the back of National Assembly, and also the facade of palettes of bad guys which depict fake generosity. While the left side shows a hand which represents the whistleblowers, unveiling the curtain. So
blowing the lead.
Behind the curtain, we show the evil deeds of stores and other things that goes on behind the scene. So it takes courage to be
to do that. Quite interesting. I would like to ask you, Dr. Kure, how much of buy-in do you have right now?
So we, when we made the call, we had 172 persons that were interested in sharing their creative arts to advance whistleblowing in Nigeria.
Were you overwhelmed with the response?
Yes, it's a positive one because from the government side of it, it's since 2016 we've been pushing for whistleblowing, and the whistleblowing law have not been passed till now in Nigeria, which is not good for us. But we're actually shocked and happy when we had a lot of entries from young people. So the buy-in from the young people is coming in, and you know, in Nigeria we have a lot of cases of individuals that blew the whistle, and some of them got issues. So the buy-in is increasing day by day. So I can say for now, let's say 15% of our demography is buying into it.
Right.
And we're expecting by next year we'll have an increase in percentage. And if possible, if we continue with this competition, we'll have more young people coming out to speak out and also encourage more whistleblowers and also applaud individuals that have blown the whistle in the past. Why we, from our own side, PLAF is providing legal protection and legal support and also financial support to individuals that have blown the whistle and are facing challenges in the country. So the buy-in is increasing, and I pray by next year it will be more.
Of course, we join our faith with yours, and we hope we continue to find all of the strategic collaborations that you need to make this happen. In 30 seconds, what would you do with this prize beyond the physical item that's been handed to you? How much does it propel you to, as it were, push the frontiers?
Actually, I'm overwhelmed. I'm also inspired to, use my painting to create the act of whistleblowing.
Right.
No matter what we're upon.
Of course. So you're ready to stick your chin out for your fatherland.
More paintings.
Amazing. I feel very traumatized that time is limited at this point in time. You gentlemen and all the brilliant that you, the face of Africa, if you ask me. Shodipo, I'm particularly proud of you this is the first of this kind I've seen. I've been here for a while too, but it's something very inspiring. And Dr. Gaza, thank you for taking the lead at a time where everyone is waiting to be led. We do appreciate that, and we hope you continue to do more of this work and we get to talk about this time and again.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you guys for coming. We'll be talking to a gentleman from Step Up Nigeria. Whistleblowing is what their focus is at this point in time, trying to make citizens understand and then, of course, be a part of the entire process. Well, again, we'll continue to track these developments for you. In a bit, Juma and I will be back here to wrap up the program for you. Do stay with us. Incidentally, these two conversations, Juma, go hand in hand. You talk about insecurity, you talk about whistleblowing.
Yes, it does.
Especially now that we're talking about ransom payments for those who say the best things they can do with best thing they can do with their lives is to kidnap others who are busy minding their business. But we do hope that as a country we sustain this culture, because that's one way Nigeria will become the great country we want it to be.
Yes, exactly, and well said. And like you said, it goes hand in hand. It's very important that we understand that we all have to put our hands on deck. Right. It's very important to, try to curb this menace as soon as possible, this menace of insecurity.
Exactly. Well, that's our program for you today. Remember that the views of our guests across all of our programs, including here on Global Morning, there are views. I'm Uyag Mofwegwe. Thank you especially for watching.
And I am Jumai Manson. Thank you all so much for being a part of the program. And from we and I, have an amazing day ahead. Bye-bye.